Hey everybody, it's Gypsy and Rhiannon. So tonight I have a question for you. What is the life you want? If money were no object, especially if you're young, I'm asking this question. If money's no object, what is the life you would want to have? The life you want to live? Now, if you're older like me, um, are you living the life you want? Is this the life you desire? Um, the reason I'm asking this is I was just thinking back on my life. Um, she wants to be the center of attention today. Um, when I was younger, I would say through my up into my 40s, I never dreamed I would be doing what I'm doing now. Many of you know, for 3 years, I was a nomad. I lived on the road, traveled around, and now I've bought an acre of land and I'm starting a small homestead. Um, I never dreamed I would be doing this. I live totally off grid. But when I was younger, I would say a young adult, when I was first getting out on my own, um, I thought it was cool to live in the city. In my first apartment, I got in a neighborhood called Little Italy in Cleveland, Ohio. And I don't know why, because I was always more of a country girl. I love being in nature. But, being 20, 21, you think it's cool to live in the city. I did that for a little while. Um, I'd say the only thing I did was that was true to myself was becoming a mother. But I was not the type of mother that Rhiannon, make up your mind. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, old-fashioned mom, stay home, take care of my children, take care of my home, my spouse, which I was married twice. I found marriage doesn't agree with me, but I love being a mom. Anyways, um, but I found myself working in jobs I hated all the time. I never had a job I loved. I just worked, to make ends meet, to provide for my family. Rhiannon, honey, come here, babe. There we go. Somebody wants to play with the Christmas tree. Um, and I was not happy. I was stuck in the matrix, just going along with whatever the narrative of the day was at the time. When I became a mother back in the 80s, if a woman wanted to stay home and take care of her children, she was looked down on like she was subhuman, she was dirt. It was terrible. When I got older, I was very happy to see that it was becoming okay if a mother chose to stay home with her children. It was encouraged if that's what you wanted. And now I'm seeing that a lot of times both parents stay home. And I really like that. But back in my day, that was a big no-no. And I couldn't because I ended up being a single mother. I was not living the life I wanted. I always felt like I wasn't on the right spiritual path. There was more I should have been doing, but I didn't know what it was, and it bothered me. Now, I have been told by my family in the spirit realm um, that it was not the right time for me to be living my spiritual purpose yet. But deep down, on a spiritual level, like in my higher self, I knew I was supposed to, my true purpose was something else. It just wasn't time yet. This caused me a lot of depression. Not really the purpose of this video, though. I want you to focus on, is this the life you want, or what life is it you want for yourself? Now, just because I was a nomad and I live off grid and I'm starting a homestead and I love to live in nature does not mean it's right for everybody. So I would like for you guys to think for yourself. Look within. Is this the life I want to live? And if it's not, what life is it you do want to live? What life do you want for yourself? I think that's a very important thing to consider, because whatever it is your heart's desire is what your life's purpose is. Your life's purpose, like I felt like I was supposed to be doing something important, but I'm a very quiet person. I never wanted to be well known. But this is important. what I'm doing. It's important for me. It's important for my spiritual growth. It's no big deal, really. But also, just your presence here on this earth serves a purpose for the planet and the entire universe. Because when you come here and you incarnate here, you are setting out a certain vibration. There are many of us here who just our mere presence here is to help raise the vibration and wake people up. Okay, so when we're talking about life purpose or the life you would like to live, it doesn't have to be grandiose. You don't have to be famous. We all make a huge impression, a huge change on this planet, even if we're just, well, stay-at-home parents. And that's not just because that is, I'm sorry, I don't care what's going on in this world today or what the narrative is. Being a parent is the most important job ever. So look with that. Now, when I was younger, it was like a rat race, especially back in the 80s. You had yuppies and, who could have the most toys, the most money, have the most important job and stuff like that. I couldn't get into that. And it was very difficult for me. I'd say when I got into my 40s, I began to realize what I needed was a quiet, simple life. Not constantly, on that gerbil wheel, rat race, just constantly running. I mean, it was like, you get up in the morning, you rush to get ready for work, rush to get your children or your child ready for work, rush to take them wherever they need to be, and you go to work, you rush all day long, you go pick up your children, you come home, you make dinner, clean up, help them with homework, and then you go to bed, and you wake up and you do the same thing over and over again. There's really no family time, and I'm more into family. But for me, I realized I need a quiet life. And what I did was, when I was younger, I thought about these things. Now, I'm not one to really write things down or have, I think what they call it, a dream board with pictures and stuff of what I want. I just thought about it and had in my mind, one, I wanted to be living out in a rural area where it was quiet and I was in nature. I wanted to be, the word self-sufficient wasn't, it was a word, but not really popular back then. But I knew I wanted to have like a little place of my own where I can have my plants, grow my food, have my animals, etc. I knew I wanted these things, and I just wanted a quiet life. I wanted a solitary life. I wanted to be left alone. But again, I do these videos because I like to teach. Now, my homesteading videos, I tell you guys, that's not teaching because I'm new at this. I just started in July. It's December? I have no clue what I'm doing. I'm just showing you my progress and my failures. There's lots of failures. But anyways, when it comes to, videos like this, I feel it's more of a teaching or getting you to think about what you want for yourself. We didn't all come here to live the same lives. My day, everybody, the rat race, everybody, all the time. That wasn't for me, and I'm sure it wasn't for a lot of other people. So now that I'm living this quiet life out in a very rural area, I'm in the middle of nowhere, I'm happy. And I found the simpler my life is, the cheaper, the less things I have, the more simple, less gadgets, the happier I am. But that's not the case for everyone. So you have to go inside, look inside and see what you want. And what you do is you think of these things, make a list in your mind like I did. And it's not so much that I thought about it and I really strongly had this list and went over and over and over every day. It was just in my mind, embedded deep in my soul. And I focused on it, but not really hard and intently. I just knew it was there. And somehow it just happened. Now, it takes a long time. It took me years to get to this point. I think, I don't know, maybe when I was in my 30s and 40s is when I started realizing, well, that life's not for me. And I started to realize what it was I wanted. Okay, because we all plan our lives before we come in. And I know a lot of you aren't spiritualists or pagans. That's okay. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. You know, if it doesn't resonate with you, please don't take it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was drinking eggnog. Don't look. Anyways, um, yeah, I mean, it's not going to make or break you. This is my thing. And for anybody out there who it's your thing, this is what I believe that we do make these life plans. So I knew when I was younger that the life I lived in wasn't really me, wasn't really what I came here to do. Now I'm living this life, and I'm sure this is what I came to do. You know it, you feel it deep down. Well, for those of you who believe differently, look at it as the life that God wanted for you, God planned for you. Say, look at it that way, and you might understand better what I'm saying. But when you're on the right path, whatever that might be. So if you're older like I am, are you living the life that you wanted? Is this your life plan? For some reason, I planned not to not hit my life's purpose, to not really, really do what I wanted until I was older, like in the second half of my life. I don't know why, but it came out that way. Some people it's younger. If you are younger, but yeah, if you're older, ask yourself, are you living it? And if so, why not? And what can you do to get to that point? Because it's never too late. It isn't. And like I said, the fact that it doesn't have to be grandiose, even in your older years, you can do it. Now, for younger people, think about, okay, say you're just getting started in your adult life. Think about what it is you want to do. What kind of life do you want? And let me tell you, if you're just starting out and you're 20, 21, just like me when I started, I thought it would be cool to live in the city. I didn't last there long, about a year. um, you're going to find is you have different stages of your life, and what it is you want for your life at any given moment is going to change. It's okay to change and grow. This happens through life, okay? So think about the life you want, and focus on that. That's how you manifest. You focus on it. I can't even figure out how I got to this place. Everything just fell into place. What I needed to make it happen. Okay, now you don't sit on your butt being lazy. You do have to work for it. But I mean, the things I needed to work for, it just fell into place. It was something else. And I never dreamed I would be doing what I'm doing now. Never. Um, I'm 58 years old. I live alone on an acre of land in the middle of nowhere. I bought a raw piece of land, nothing on it, no utilities, no water, nothing. And I'm planning on staying off grid. I've been living off grid for for 3.5 years now, and I love it. I have no desire to get back on the grid. And I find it, some people can't live off grid. They find it difficult, and that's okay. For me, I love it, and I find it very easy. I don't need much, I guess. And it's not a judgment. It's just everybody's different in what they want. But for me, it's easy to live off grid. And when you focus on it, and the things that you need to work toward it will fall in place. And you will know if what you are choosing for yourself is what I'm going to call your spiritual path, or the path you chose for yourself on a very deep spiritual level, or what God chose for you, however you wish to look at it. You'll know, because you get this feeling, this knowing. I mean, it's a very strange knowledge. It's very strong, and you will know it. But everything will fall into place. And then you use these things that have fallen into place to work towards that life that you want. And again, if you're young, okay, you work to that and you get there. And then maybe when you're a little older, well, then that changes. And you just keep going through your life. Always ask yourself, is this the life I want? If so, that's wonderful. If not, ask yourself why and what you can do to get that life that you want. First make that list in your head and write it down if you need to. Make a dream board if you need to. Just focus on it. You know, while you go about your life, you have that desire deep in your heart. And that's how you manifest. It's to begin manifesting. And the universe will, um, yeah, conspire with you, they're saying. The spirit realm conspire with you to bring what you need to create that life. Because we're all creators and we can create the life we want. And I've heard other people say this has happened to them. It has happened to me. I couldn't be happier. So I'm just saying, if money is no object, now for me it was easier because the life I want is not expensive. It's not grandiose. It's in fact, you know, I used to live in apartments and paying rent in good neighborhoods and stuff like that. You know, now it's people might say I took a step down. To me, it's not. It's a step up. It's a cheaper way to live, but this is my heart's desire, and I love it because living the lives I did in the past, even though some would look at it and say, "Oh, well, that's a nice apartment or that's a nice neighborhood," wasn't really for me. So just ask yourself that question. Just some food for thought again. I like to do that. And if you want to share your dream, or if you are or are not living the life you want currently, please share them in the comments. I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.